The trucking industry has not changed in decades. Diesel engines, high maintenance, fuel costs that never stop rising, and drivers spending thousands of dollars per month just to keep trucks moving. Now imagine a semi-truck that can travel up to 500 miles on a single charge, recharge in under 30 minutes, and cut fuel costs by more than half. That is exactly what Elon Musk is promising with the 2026 Tesla Semi. But this is not just about range numbers. This is about operating cost, fleet profitability, driver comfort, and whether diesel trucks are about to become the next flip phone. The 2026 Tesla Semi is not a concept anymore. It is entering scaled production, and according to updated specifications, Tesla has improved charging speed, battery efficiency, and real-world hauling performance. If these numbers hold, this could completely reshape long-haul freight economics. But here is the real question: are these specs realistic, or are they just optimistic projections? In this video, we will break down the confirmed and expected 2026 Tesla Semi specifications, the real-world performance data from fleet testing, charging infrastructure upgrades, and most importantly, whether this actually changes trucking economics or just sounds impressive. Quick reminder before we continue: if you want clear, realistic Tesla analysis without exaggeration, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. We track real data, not just headlines. Now let us start with the most important update of all: the battery and range improvements for 2026. The battery. What really changed in 2026? If the 2026 Tesla Semi truly changes trucking, it starts here. The battery. Because in commercial freight, range is not about convenience. It is about revenue. Every extra mile means fewer stops. Fewer stops mean faster delivery. Faster delivery means higher fleet efficiency. Now let us separate speculation from realistic engineering. The original Tesla Semi was estimated to carry roughly 900 to 1,000 kilowatt hours of battery capacity. That is nearly 10 times the size of a standard passenger electric vehicle for 2026. The focus is not necessarily a bigger battery. It is a smarter battery. Tesla has been refining its 4,680 cell production process for years. Higher energy density, improved thermal stability. Lower cost per kilowatt hour. For a truck this size, even a 5 to 10% efficiency improvement is massive. If the Semi maintains a real-world energy consumption of roughly 1.7 to 2.0 kilowatt hours per mile under load, that means a practical range of around 500 miles remains realistic. But here is what matters more than headline range: consistency under full load. Many electric truck competitors quote range numbers at partial load or ideal weather conditions. The Tesla Semi was tested hauling approximately 81,000 pounds gross vehicle weight, the legal limit in the United States. And it completed long-haul routes while maintaining stable battery temperatures and predictable energy use. That matters for fleets. Trucking companies do not care about best-case scenarios. They care about worst-case reliability. The 2026 update appears to focus heavily on thermal management. Improvements. Better cooling channels. More efficient heat pumps. Reduced degradation over long daily cycles. Battery longevity is everything in freight. If a truck drives 100,000 miles per year, degradation becomes visible quickly. Improved cell chemistry and pack architecture could extend usable battery life significantly. That reduces total cost of ownership. And that is where the disruption begins, because if the battery lasts longer and maintains performance under stress, diesel maintenance costs start to look outdated. Now here is the critical question: even if the range holds at 500 miles, how fast can it recharge? Because in trucking, downtime kills profit. And that is where the next major upgrade comes in: megawatt level charging. 1.2 megawatt charging. The real game changer. Range means nothing without fast charging. In passenger cars, time is money. Every minute a truck is parked is a minute it is not generating revenue. That is why the 2026 Tesla Semi charging upgrade matters more than the battery itself. Tesla is pushing toward megawatt level charging, specifically around 1.2 megawatts of peak power using the Megawatt charging system. For context, most fast chargers for passenger vehicles operate between 150 and 350 kilowatts. This is more than triple that. What does that mean in practical terms? At 1.2 megawatts, a Tesla Semi could recover roughly 70% of its range in approximately 30 minutes. That translates to about 350 miles of range, added during a typical mandated driver break. And that detail is critical, federal regulations. In the United States already, then charging stops are not additional delays, they are synchronized pauses. That changes the economics entirely. Let us do the math. Diesel truck may refuel in 10 to 15 minutes. An electric Semi may charge in 30 minutes. But if the driver must stop anyway, that extra time does not necessarily reduce productivity. Now factor in fuel cost. Diesel prices fluctuate heavily. Electricity contracts for fleet operators can be negotiated long-term. With Megawatt charging infrastructure installed at depots or major freight corridors, fleets gain predictability. Predictability lowers risk, and logistics companies ecosystem around it. Dedicated megacharger stations, fleet-based infrastructure planning, energy storage integration to reduce grid stress. The goal is simple: make electric trucking not just viable, but operationally superior. However, there is a catch. Infrastructure rollout takes time. Installing Megawatt chargers requires heavy grid upgrades, site planning, and coordination with utilities. This will not happen overnight, but once core freight corridors are covered, the adoption curve could accelerate rapidly, because once downtime becomes predictable and manageable, the final comparison becomes obvious: operating cost. And that is where diesel faces its toughest challenge yet. Tesla Semi versus diesel, the cost war. Now we get to the part that actually matters. Not range. Not horsepower. Not futuristic design. Money. Because trucking is not about excitement. It is about margins. If the Tesla Semi saves serious money per mile, it changes the industry. If it does not, it becomes a niche experiment. Let us break this down clearly. Fuel cost per mile. Typical diesel Semi averages around 6 to 7 miles per gallon. If diesel costs $4 per gallon, that translates to roughly 60 to 70 cents per mile in fuel alone. Now look at electricity. If the Tesla Semi consumes around 1.8 kilowatt hours per mile, and fleet electricity contracts average 10 to 15 cents per kilowatt hour, the cost per mile could land between 18 to 27 cents. That is a dramatic difference. Even at higher electricity rates, electric remains significantly cheaper per mile, over 100,000 miles per year. After treatment systems. Tu RB OCHA RGERs. Breakware. Electric trucks eliminate many of these systems. Fewer moving parts. Regenerative braking reduces breakware. No engine oil. Tesla designed the Semi with simplicity in mind, while battery and motor maintenance still exist. Overall service intervals are expected to be lower than diesel counterparts. For fleet operators, reduced maintenance downtime is as important as cost savings. Total cost of ownership. Now, let us combine everything. Fuel savings plus maintenance savings could potentially save hundreds of thousands of dollars per truck, even if the Tesla may justify it. But there is a critical caveat: upfront cost and infrastructure investment. Megawatt chargers are expensive. Grid upgrades are expensive. Initial capital expenditure is higher. Small operators may struggle to adopt quickly. Large fleets, however, operate on scale. For them, logistics companies before trickling down. Here is the reality: if Tesla delivers reliable range, predictable charging, and consistent cost savings, diesel trucks face serious pressure, not because electric is trendy, but because electric becomes financially rational. And in trucking, accelerate this shift even faster. Driver experience, because retention in trucking is a crisis. And the Tesla Semi quietly addresses that too. If you are enjoying this deep dive into real trucking economics, subscribe to the channel. We focus on data-driven Tesla analysis, not hype, and you will not miss future updates as Semi production scales. the driver factor. The hidden advantage: most people analyze trucks like machines. Fleet managers analyze them like assets. But drivers experience them like environments. And right now, driver retention is one of the biggest problems in the trucking industry. Long hours, vibration, fatigue. Noise. Heat. Mechanical stress. Now compare that to what the 2026 Tesla Semi offers. First, the driving position. The Tesla Semi. Spot distortion. It may sound like a design choice, but for someone driving hundreds of miles per day, that ergonomic shift reduces fatigue over time. Second, the cabin environment. No diesel engine vibration. No constant mechanical rumble. No gear shifts. Electric drivetrains deliver smooth, instant torque that reduces strain during acceleration and hill climbing. Tesla has emphasized that the Semi is designed around driver comfort because comfortable drivers stay longer. Retention saves fleets money. Third, safety systems. The Semi integrates advanced driver assistance features derived from Tesla's electric vehicle platform. Collision avoidance, automatic emergency braking, enhanced visibility displays, even incremental improvements in safety reduce insurance costs and liability exposure for large fleets. Insurance alone can represent a major operating expense. If electric trucks lower accident rates even slightly, that compounds financially. Fourth, torque and hill performance. Diesel trucks lose efficiency climbing grades, gear changes, slow acceleration. Electric torque is immediate. That means fewer slowdowns on inclines and smoother merging into highways. For drivers, that translates into less stress and more predictable handling. There is also something less measurable, but equally important. Perception. Younger drivers entering the workforce may prefer modern, technology-focused equipment over aging diesel platforms. That may sound secondary. But workforce trends matter in long term. Fleet planning. Now here is the important question. Is driver comfort enough to justify adoption on its own? No. But combined with lower operating costs, predictable charging, and long-term efficiency, it strengthens the case. Electric trucking does not just need to be cheaper. It needs to be better to drive. And the Tesla Semi appears engineered with that in mind, which brings us to the final and most important question. Does this truly change trucking? Or is this still an early-stage disruption? That is what we need to conclude next. Final verdict: a truck or a turning point? So, after breaking down the battery improvements, megawatt charging, operating costs, and driver experience, we are left with one simple question. Does the 2026 Tesla Semi actually change trucking? The honest answer is this. Yes, but not overnight. The Tesla Semi does not destroy diesel tomorrow. It pressures it gradually. Here is why this matters. If electric trucks consistently operate at lower cost per mile, if megawatt charging aligns with federally required driver rest periods, if maintenance downtime decreases, and if drivers prefer operating electric trucks, then the economic argument becomes difficult to ignore. Trucking is a margin-driven industry. Even a 10% improvement in operating efficiency can shift billions of dollars. Across national freight networks, the Tesla Semi appears positioned to offer more than 10%. But scale determines everything. Tesla still needs to expand production capacity. Megawatt charging corridors must grow. Grid infrastructure must adapt. Early adoption will likely begin with large fleets that can invest in charging infrastructure. Smaller operators may follow once charging networks become widespread and vehicle pricing stabilizes. This is how disruption usually unfolds. Phase 1. Early fleet trials. Phase 2. Economic proof. Phase 3. Accelerated adoption. We are currently moving from Phase 1 to Phase 2. If real-world data continues to support lower cost per mile and reliable long-haul performance, the shift will not be emotional. It will be financial. And in trucking, financial logic wins every time. So no, the Tesla Semi does not magically replace every diesel truck in 2026, but it introduces something far more powerful. Viable alternative that forces the entire industry to rethink fuel, maintenance, and long-term cost strategy. That is how industries change, not with noise, with numbers. If you want continued real-world updates as Tesla semi-production scales and fleet data becomes public. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Let me know in the comments. Do you think electric trucks will dominate within the next decade, or will diesel remain king longer than expected? In the next video, we will break down how the Tesla Semi compares directly against competitors like traditional diesel leaders and other electric truck startups. If that interests you, stay tuned. Thank you for watching. Stay practical, stay informed, and I will see you in the next one.